Sometimes, like, it's human nature to sulk a little bit, right? And to complain and to have those thoughts. Like, I think it's totally fair to have those thoughts, like, to be like, I don't understand. But I think it's super mature if you go to the coach or you go to, probably the coach and be like, hey, like, what can I do? Like, what are you looking for? What do you need of me? Like, how do I get on the field?
Yeah, so I feel like it's like mature, like if you're putting like the anger of you not starting or not playing like into your playing.
Yeah, in training. Yeah, in training.
And not like taking it out on like your teammates or like the coach for like not putting you in.
Yeah.
Like, or like the teammate that like took your
100%.
That it's like a vision. For, like,
right. Yeah, it doesn't become like the you show,
yeah.
right? That you have to like, take over in training and not pass and do all these things. And I think, that unfortunately can happen. I think in a lot of teams it breaks them apart. It can break them apart, right? When you have. I know for me, like. One of the biggest games of my career, we're playing Barcelona in the Champions League at home, and everyone's buzzing about it. The whole town's coming. Literally, this little town in Denmark, like everyone is going to be there. It's the biggest team that's ever been to this stadium, and it was the same week as my birthday. Like all these things, right? And I get benched, and no explanation from the coaches. Like played the full 90 in the last game, get benched. And I have to say, like I didn't want it to be about me. I didn't want to go to the coaches right away. I wanted to, let the game go by and then talk to them afterwards. And I never ended up talking to them, and I do regret that. I wish I would have asked them, what their reasons were, and just had that conversation as far as like, just so I could be at peace a little bit, about what happened and what I could have done better or changed or things like that. But I want the team to do well. And I'll say, like, I had a hard time with the girl who was playing in front of me as far as, like, really genuinely wanting her to play well. I'll be honest about that. Like, it was hard for me to want that. I had never really experienced that before in my career. But at the same time, like being able to see the girls around me who had been on the bench and fighting for a spot for a long time, seeing how positive they were and like encouraging and the way they talked to, like not only that, but like they would go and find that player who was starting in front of them at halftime or something and be like, hey, like you're doing this really well, or like, hey, look at these spaces, like actually like helping them to play better. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be doing that. But like it's hard. Like I had to fake it till I made it a couple of times because I just, I didn't really feel that inside, and that's unfortunate. And I think as I didn't go back and play the next game. Like I was on the bench for a little while, and I had to really embrace, okay, while I'm here, I got to do what I can for the team and still be positive and still lead. If you're a leader and you're on the bench, like that's a little bit difficult too, but you can 100% still lead from the bench by doing those things. Like, you have a good view from the bench. Unfortunately, you can see things that sometimes players on the field don't see. So taking those conversations at halftime or, a throw-in or a break to have those conversations and help them, like, it'll go a long way. And maybe, like I said, maybe you don't feel it deep down, they're really bummed, and that's okay too, because you care. But yeah, 100% being able to find a way to stay in it, to embrace that role, and like Ellie said, long term, it's going to go a long way for you. It's going to be unfortunate and it's not going to be super fun in the moment, but I look at that time now, then it was not like this, but now I look at that time, I'm like, wow, I learned so much, arguably more than, a lot of other cool moments in my career. I learned more than just about being a good human, and also, those things are going to happen to you in life all the time. It's not going to be fair, or, if something's going to happen, you're not going to agree with it. If you're a part of a group, how can you still take seriously your role and help other people and let them be, help themselves, if they're the person that you're fighting against or they're in your spot or whatever it is, like, can you still help them and want the best for them, right?